Hey, Robert, do you happen to have an update on Jared Davis?
Jared Davis, obviously he has an ankle. It's going to take him into the season, but we expect him back sometime around the bye week.
Is he a candidate for the injured reserve to be activated later?
So that would be something that I'll talk to Joe about, but we'll decide that later.
Robert, first of all, thanks for doing this today. And just to follow up on Connor's question, so is it a high ankle sprain?
No, you know what? That'd probably be more for the docs. Sometimes they speak Chinese, but it is an ankle. It's not necessarily a high ankle sprain, but it's enough that it'll be treated like one.
And I just wanted to follow up with some other injury guys, specifically White, AVT, Elijah, and
AVT, we're hoping he gets action this week. Same thing with Elijah Moore. That one's going to be more day to day, but we're hoping we can get him back this week. And then Mike Wade, obviously day to day, just evaluating him every day.
Robert, how about Blair and McDermott, who got hurt?
Yeah, so Ronnie, he's going to be day to day. We'll see with all the testing that he has today. McDermott, he's working through. It's going to be through the season with his injury. He's looking at some more evaluations to see which direction he wants to go. So, that's about the extent on those two.
Robert, with Jared being out for into the season, how do you feel about the depth you have at that position, and who do you see stepping in there?
At linebacker, we really like our linebacker group. We've got we've got a combination of youth and experience. Sherwood's been doing a really nice job. So we're expecting him to slide in and pick up where Jared left off. So he's been having a really nice camp, and it's an opportunity for him to step in and take on a bigger role. But yes, as with regard to that linebacker group, we're really excited about that unit.
With Elijah Moore and Vera Tucker, you have no concerns with them being available for week one? Like, from what you've been told, they'll be good to go for then?
God willing.
Robert, yesterday there was a report that you guys are interested in trading for a pass rusher in light of Lawson's injury. How serious will you look at that avenue to improve that position?
My head is so deep into our tape and just focusing on these guys right now, Rich. I know it's not the answer you want, but there's always going to be personnel discussions with Joe and myself. But as far as the seriousness of all of that, I'm really just focused on the guys that are here right now.
Robert, how difficult is this with, Jared was your big free agent signing, Carl was your big parts of your defense, and now they're gone, one for the season, one for a while.
It's I never feel sorry for myself. I feel terrible for the two that are injured. We talked about it after the game. Jared has been nothing but a professional since he's walked in here. Same thing with Carl. And the amount of work that they put in and how much they've studied and how much they've bought into our scheme and the way we're trying to get things done. And then for them to lose part of their season, and in Carl's case, all of his season, I feel sick for them because the amount of investment these young men make to this game, only to have it taken all on one play, is just. Yeah, I don't think it's hard on me. I think it's much harder on them. We'll figure it out. Someone will step up and we'll keep on moving.
Robert, can you talk a little bit about Sherwood? Just the fact, you saying he's going to slide in there, it shows a lot of confidence in a rookie and a guy who doesn't have that much experience, obviously playing linebacker.
Yeah, Sherwood is exactly what we thought. When we drafted, and now I want to make sure I'm saying this right away. I'm not comparing him to Fred yet. He's got a long way to go, Fred Warner, but Fred Warner played nickel in college and was maybe 220, 225 his rookie year. We threw him in there at Mike linebacker, started in day one, and he took off. Sherwood has a tremendous mindset to him. He's extremely smart. He's got great command of the playbook already. He's got respect of his peers. He's an unbelievable communicator. And, he kind of looks like, he doesn't look like Fred, but he's sitting there right around 220, 225. He's got tremendous length, tremendous instincts. He's got a great feel for the game. And so again, for him, there's going to be some hiccups along the way, but we feel with reps, he's only going to get better.
Robert, I was just curious if you could follow up on a comment you made after the game Saturday night. You talked about Zach, and you said his process is light years beyond a normal rookie. Can you just explain exactly what you mean by process and what you're seeing that made you say that?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Brian. So when I talk process, I'm not necessarily talking about how he processes the game when the ball's snapped. I'm talking about the way he goes about his day-to-day business and the way he studies tape and his pregame, how he studies the night before and what he's doing and the things he's asking the the video guys and the information that he wants. Like, just from speaking from a defensive standpoint, I mean, I've been fortunate to coach some of the best linebackers this game has ever had. And none of those guys were swimming their first year and just were grabbing at things to try to figure out. And this young man has a tremendous process on how he gets to game day. And it's that process that we trust is why he'll continue to grow and fix mistakes that he may have. That's why we talk about his process is phenomenal. Now the result game day might happen and be like, damn, he hit the wrong wall. But what we trust is that he's going to be able to reset on Monday, go through that process that he has and find ways to get better from the week before. And that's where we're really, really excited about him. And like I said, sometimes the result on game day is going to be phenomenal. Sometimes it's going to be a big dud, but we trust that those duds are going to become far further and fewer in between.
Hey, Robert, I'm Mark Sanchez, a new guy at the Post. Zach was targeting Corey Davis plenty the other day. Just what have you seen from that relationship, and are you seeing Zach lean more on him?
It's a combination of play caller along with Zach's comfort. We're trying to get Corey his work also because he's only going to play a couple of series, but at the same time, those two have been working together. And working, one-on-ones and routes on air, and he's been working that way with all of them. But Corey is a reliable, trustworthy receiver. He's going to do the right things. He's going to be where he's supposed to be. He's going to get separation. So when those quarterbacks have a guy that they feel like they can lean on, absolutely, he's going to just feel more comfortable working to his side. But yeah, they're constantly working. They're constantly communicating. That relationship has been growing pretty good.
Robert, you were asked after the game about Zach and how he has not faced any starting defenses yet. I'm wondering if you could just flip that for a second. Is there a positive in that, and that it had in terms of building confidence and he's had a lot of open receivers and is there a positive to that just to build his confidence as you go into the regular season?
I do. I don't know. Call me. You guys know me. I'm an optimist, but if it was the other way around and he was struggling, I mean, he'd be getting tortured So the fact that he's going out there and absolutely dissecting these defenses, I think is a testament to him. You can call it second. You guys know how I feel about professional football players and their ability to play this game, and I get it. Maybe they haven't been working together, so their timing from their respect, it might be off from a defensive standpoint, but credit to our offense. They've had 6 drives. They've scored in 4. They've put up points in 4 of them. They've had a really good showing so far this preseason, and you still got to go out there and do it. No different than going out on the golf course and you might be playing an easy course, but you still got to go hit shots. But it's the same thing. They still got to execute and they still got to perform their job. And so, yes, you can argue all you want one way or the other. I just think our offense has been doing a nice job with pre-snap communication, assignments, staying on schedule, getting the ball out in rhythm, run after the catch, all of it. So it's been good so far, and it's something to build off of.
We'll take a few more for Coach.
Robert, do you have any concern about the missed time here for Elijah Moore and Elijah Vera Tucker, both of them rookies missing a lot of time in camp?
For sure. It's my concern is just the lack of reps. But that goes for everybody. I mean, if Marcus May was missing reps, I'd be concerned for him too, because of how much we value reps and execution. But the good thing about those two is you see them in walkthrough. AVT's been getting a lot of walkthrough reps, and Elijah Moore is over there just constantly absorbing as much information as he can. So a lot of confidence in those two to be able to step in and at least know what they're doing. And then there might be a little bit of rustiness with regards to timing and all that, but those are things that we feel like they'll be able to adjust to pretty quickly.
Robert, will you change at all the way that you conduct these joint practices against the Eagles because of the fact you play the Eagles in the regular season? So with Green Bay, you're only going to see in that preseason game, but now you're actually going to see Philly later in the year.
No, it's we play Philly in like week 9 or something like that. It's much later in the season, so our both schemes are going to kind of be reveal itself. Are there things that we'll be aware of and cognizant of? Sure. I mean, but I don't think at the end of the day, I don't think it'll be as big a deal because of how late we play them.
It seems like some coaches might use this last preseason game to evaluate the bottom of their roster, while others might, want to get their starters one last run before the real games. Where do you fall on that?
We're going to talk about it as a staff. I mean, you look at, I know there's several of my mentors who are going to be playing through the first half, and then there's some friends who still aren't going to play any of their guys. But it's interesting, everyone's philosophy on how to approach this third game. But again, this is so important for. I can tell you the rookie's going to play. How much I don't know, but and how much are we going to get the vets out there? I don't know, but again, we're going to talk about that as the week goes on, depending on how these practices go, and talk with the players, talk with the coordinators, and see which direction we want to go to.
Robert, I'm following up on Bless Austin from Saturday. You said personal reasons, and usually when we hear personal reasons, that means the guy had to leave the team for some kind of family situation. I noticed he was on the sideline during the game, so I was just curious: was there a disciplinary issue there, or
no disciplinary action? It's Bless had a personal issue, and we felt like it was important for him to kind of regroup rather than throw him out on the football field.
Okay, thanks,
Robert. Would the injuries that you guys recently suffered to Carl or Jared impact how much you want to play your starters here in this final game, losing two pretty important guys?
Not for me. I know it you look at the two injuries that they had. Obviously, one was in practice. So every time you take a snap in this game, you're subject to injury. And if anything, you're probably safer in the game than you are in practice, in my opinion, because in practice, you're not expecting for people to fall on the ground. And so that's where a lot of things can go wrong. Jared's injury was a little bit of a freak injury with someone rolling up on his ankle, but I don't think you can be gun shy. I think if you are gun shy and play, and as a player, if you play not to get hurt, that's when you probably do get hurt. But to answer your question though, Connor, no, I'm not gun shy at all.
Last one.
How did Quinnen look in his limited reps last week? And would you like to get him some more reps in practice this week?
Yeah, we're going to up him this week. We had him maxed out between 10 and 12 reps per practice last week. We're going to try to up that to 20 this week as we ramp him up and continue to work through him. He looked exactly like we thought. He was a little rusty, but he's a big, powerful man, and he's excited to continue to work through it. And I know Aaron, our D-line coach, is really happy that he's around. And now we just got to hone in on our technique and hone in on the small details that's going to make him special.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.